Hello y'all, it's Jessica from Diamond Sticks YouTube channel. I just want to make a short video kind of talking and going over some stuff with you guys. I probably won't be making as much content. I mean, I'm going to try, obviously. But I don't know how long it's going to take me, you guys. And I bought some paint. I don't know if you can really tell. In here in the living room, there's my cat Puffy. Got the curtains down because my youngest daughter started painting. She's helping me out, and we're both wore out. I'm wore out because I'm out of shape and it hurts my body and stuff. But anyways, she's just wore out because, well, we was up doing it all night long just for this wall right here. There's so much to it. This is an old house. It's falling apart, but it is what it is. You know, you got to make do with what you got and work with what you have until things get better. And all you can do about things is just pray about it and go on. But anyways, like, we chose this color right here. I showed y'all before, but it's like a gray color. We're not painting this wall right here. This is like we're gonna paint it a different color, but I'll show you guys that in a second. But it's just taking forever. It's a long process, and this house is like 50 some years old. It was like I think it was from 1976, and it was moved down here, so it has a lot of flaws in it, you know, because when they moved it and stuff, they moved it kind of like how you would a double wide. It's not a double wide. Everybody thinks it's a double wide, but it's not a double wide. Or they think it's like a local homes type house, and it's not. I have dealt with homes before, but that was over my septic years ago and the porches that they built on. But this is not a homes house. And if y'all don't know what homes is similar to like what a lot of people have away from here in other states and other counties in Kentucky. It's similar to like Habitat for Humanity is what homes is, but this is not a homes house. This was just an old house that was built in 1976, I think, and it was auctioned off. And I got it for like $800, and then I had it moved down here and stuff. I was pregnant when my oldest daughter. I was like 7 months pregnant whenever I moved into this house with my oldest daughter. And so there's my big fat cat Maximo. But you can tell whenever they moved it, it was an old house anyways. It's got all kinds of damage to it. But I mean, like I said, I don't have the income, so I just do whatever I can do. And I don't have a whole lot of support at all. So I just do whatever I do with what I got, or make do, or whatever. And I live on like basically me and my two daughters. I'm not getting into it in this video. You can see there's cracks and stuff too. There's black mold in this house. There's all kinds of stuff that needs to be done in this house. But anyways, me and my two daughters live on my income, which is $987 a month, because I'm on disability. And I worked a little bit, but not very much. So that's why my check is broke down into 2 parts. The first, and then I get the rest on the 3rd of the month. But anyways, we're painting because it needed to be done for a while. And even though I didn't have really the money to paint or whatever, it was that orange or peach or yellow color, whatever you want to call it there. And I need to clean the litter boxes. I've been busy, even if it don't look like it, you guys. And this floor is falling apart. Like I said, this house is 50 years old. So, yes, it's going to be falling apart. And I don't have that kind of money to fix it. I just do things little by little or whatever. And it is rotten, and it does have black mold in it and stuff. But I'm just doing what I can, you know, or what I got or whatever. But anyway, that's why I'll probably be busy. Because my daughter ended up, you can't tell it because I got real bad lighting in this house too. But this right here is just the accent wall that we painted here in the living room that she painted last night. And she put 3 coats because I had 1 gallon of paint just for an accent wall. And she put 3 coats of paint right here on this wall last night. And it took forever. And she does a real good job. She's just 15 years old, and she does a real good job. And like I said, it is rotten and stuff. You can kind of see behind there. That's why we keep these tubs here, and we don't use that door because we don't want the cats to get out, and I don't have the money to replace the floor or do anything. Like I said, I just do things as I can, little by little. And I got semi-gloss paint is what I got. But, and I told y'all in a Walmart haul or whatever about the supplies I got to start painting with or whatever. That right there paint tray kit that comes with everything. That was like $11 and something from Walmart, you guys. I can remember, and it's not been that long ago, I can remember whenever I thought $3 and something, $4 and something was high for a paint kit like that back in the cough years. That ain't been that long ago, guys. Everything's just getting really expensive. And yeah, my house is junked up. It's actually kind of clean though, even if it don't look like it or whatever. And like I said, yeah, the floors are falling apart, and they do have some movement to them where they are falling apart. They need to be replaced, but I just work with what I got, guys. And my house is used for like a lot of storage for other people that's living here or whatever, or even some people that's not living here. I have to use my house as storage a lot of times. So that's why I have a lot of junk. This stuff does not belong to me. And a lot of this stuff belongs to my daughters too. And they don't want to get rid of it. And then I obviously have to have somewhere to put the cat's food right now and clean right now while I'm trying to paint and my daughter's trying to paint and stuff. And my youngest daughter, she's the only one that goes to school or whatever, but she'll be going back to school in this month. So we're trying to get things straightened up. And here's what I was working on all last night right here. There's my cats. Got cats everywhere. And then them gallons of paint right there, that's a different color. I'll show you that maybe in a second or something if I can. But I did show y'all in other videos what the colors were. We're just trying to get rid of this right here orangey looking color. I actually, the last time I painted that, and I am behind on laundry because I was out of laundry detergent and stuff, so, and it takes a lot of laundry detergent around here. But anyways, and I just bought like 1 gallon yesterday at the Dollar Tree. I did a haul video of that too and showed you guys. But there you can kind of see the gray color from a distance. That's just the accent wall. We chose that one to be or actually my daughter, she chose that one to be the accent wall. That gray color there. But I think it turned out better. I like it. It already, in my opinion, it already looks better than what it did with that orange looking color. And I think I painted that orange color. I think that was the last time I painted. It might not have been the orange color was the last time I painted, but the last time I painted any walls in the house was back in like 2021. And I remember I painted the bathroom. That was the last room I painted. Excuse me. I think I'm getting allergies and it feels like strep. But I'll probably go to the doctor, but it won't be this week. It'll probably be next week. But anyways, because it is getting cooler and stuff outside. But anyways, back whenever I did get the paint for this wall here in the living room and stuff, that orange looking color, I got it from Lowe's. I think it was back in like 2021 too, though. I could be wrong, but I think it was. And all I remember, even back then, I thought that was expensive, which it was good paint. This right here paint I bought the other day. And my ceilings, everything needs to be done. This is an old house, and it's been a house that's been lived in, and I have 2 daughters. And maybe I didn't take care of it the best I should, but I did what I could do with my income. So it is what it is, or whatever. But the ceilings haven't been painted since I moved into this place and had it moved or whatever. Whenever I had it moved, I had a little extra money I had saved up. And yes, I do have hose and stuff by the... It's messy right now, guys. I ain't gonna lie. I've been busy, though. But anyways, I do have holes by the door because it is falling apart. But and yes, a lot of things should be replaced and stuff, but I just don't have that kind of money. You gotta work with what you got, like I said before. But anyways, and I'm sorry I'm going all over the place, but it is what it is. But whenever I painted this right here wall, that wall right there was the orange color too. We just got done painting it or whatever. I think I bought like 9 gallons of paint, so I might not even have enough paint. And like I showed you guys on other videos, I've already spent every penny to my name of what I live on for this month, because it takes most of my money to pay bills and stuff. So even like buying paint and stuff for my house right now, or even food, because I don't get food stamps, everything is a luxury item for either me or my girls or this house or whatever. It's just whatever I pick and choose. And yeah, you can say it's frivolous spending, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta do that because of other reasons. Even if that does kind of put you in a bind, that's just the way I feel. Because sometimes, like this house not being painted, it affected my mental health, I feel like. And I already feel a difference in just painting that one wall right there on the way I feel. Something like that can change the way you feel too as a person and your mental health and stuff. And also, I was ashamed of it, and I didn't want my daughters to be ashamed of it, and they've been ashamed of it for years, and they're still ashamed of things. But you know, I'm trying. That's all I can do or whatever. And like anytime anything gets gifted to me from people, I never get no money or nothing like that. I have never received no gifts or nothing from nobody on my YouTube channel or nothing like that, even if I do post videos. Trust me, I will make videos and thank you for it if I ever do get anything gave to me, even if it's just one item from anybody. I'll make a video about it and post it because I'll be appreciative of it and sincerely mean it. But a lot of times I will get what I call love gifts from certain people. They're not doing it for me, they're doing it for my girls, which that's fine. That's fine and that's wonderful. But just like I post on some of my videos, like the fruits or vegetables sometimes, because obviously I wouldn't be able to afford to buy stuff like that right now. But sometimes people like, and it is mostly like my parents or something like that, like my mom or something, even though we're not speaking, like I said, or like my ex's family or my ex or whatever, like if groceries, because they know that I don't get food stamps and they don't always necessarily want to see my daughters suffer. So they will like sometimes, and I'll show videos of it and stuff. If anyone gives me like a love gift of food, or if I stop, sometimes there is like food giveaways, and I showed you all that too on videos. Like with in the summertime with the school or whatever, there's this place that's local to me called Cane Kitchen, and they give you the snack or food boxes or whatever for the students, you know. And I just have the one daughter that's still in school or whatever. I ain't talking about my oldest daughter. I'm just not doing that in this video, you guys, but whatever. So don't talk about my oldest daughter or nothing in this video. She has a lot of mental health problems and stuff, and that's all I'm going to say. And she's not able to work, but she does not receive anything. I've fought for years since she lost her income. She did used to receive income, but she lost it years ago, back in like 2022. And anyways, and I know I'm all over the place in this video. It is what it is, but whatever at this point. But I've been trying my best to help her get hers back, but they keep denying it. That's a whole different story. It's a lot of issues. It's not just her. It's based upon where I live at. It's also based on the economy. It's also based on politics. It's also based on a lot of factors, and she doesn't really fit in those factors in her location of where we live at to be honest, and I'm not trying to be negative and dog on other people, but the truth's the truth. I feel like living around here, I even worry about it with my income and stuff, that I'm gonna lose it all the time because of where I live at and stuff. It used to be the opposite of what it is nowadays. But anyways, around here, and like I said, I'm not trying to put nobody down on it, and this is just from my experience and stuff. Around here, because I don't know what it is, and I don't know a lot of information, it's just the way I feel like it is. But it seems like, and it's been like that for the past 20 plus years, but it's easier for a rug addict or an ex-rug addict to get help, especially if they're male, than what it is females and stuff like that. Even if it's disability or what it is, they don't care to hand out stuff like that for. Oh, they get a lot of help. I mean, that's just my opinion. I know a lot of other people have different opinions on that, but from my experience, there's a lot of stuff like that in the system. We won't get into it, but I'll just put it like that. In my opinion, in the system that's been taken advantage of for the past 20 years plus or whatever. But that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to get upset in this video. But anyways, back to talking about painting. Whenever I bought the paint for this walls right here, the ones that's the orange paint peach color, I bought the paint back in 2021, and I bought that from Lowe's. We do have a Lowe's in Hazard. That's about 30 minutes away from my house. And we also have one in Norton. That's about an hour away from my house. And then we have one in Pikeville, and that's about an hour and a half away from my house. Maybe a little bit longer. But anyways, that's the Lowe's that I got that's near me, or whatever you want to call it. So obviously, if I ever did get like a gift card given to me by a love gift or whatever, for Lowe's, I would go to the one at Hazard because it's only like 30 minutes away from my house. But anyways, back in 2021, whenever I painted these walls, and I got 9 gallons of paint, you guys, for these walls, and that was for this other wall too in the living room here, of this orange looking color. And I got the Sherman Williams brand paint from Lowe's. And back then in 2021, for the cheapest gallon of the Sherman Williams paint brand, it was like $50-some a gallon back then. I spent like over, because I was getting those stimulus checks like everybody else was. You know, everybody was getting them that was at a certain under range or whatever, low income or whatever you want to call it. And their low income, in the GOV's opinion, was high even back then, because it was like under, which I was nowhere near that obviously, but I think it was like under like $100 and something $1,000 you could get one of those stimulus checks. So I definitely got a stimulus check, and I think the last one I got back in like 2021, I could be wrong, but I think it was like $600. And so what I used on that one was I bought the paint, and it costed $600 back then, because it was like $50-some a gallon. And I got like 9 gallons of paint is what it took to paint these walls, and that was for the hallway too. And this other little wall right here, this little bitty little side piece wall, or whatever you want to call it. And then that's mostly what I was doing last night. So I would hate to see, in other words, and yeah, like I said, because I've been focusing on this, my house is a little bit dirty right now. I ain't gonna lie. I need to clean it, but man, that wore me out too last night, and it wore my daughter out too. But anyways, because it's a harder process and longer process than what it might look, doing this painting and stuff. And the floor does give whenever I walk on it and stuff in certain places, because like I said, it is falling apart. This house is old and it's falling apart. You can see in here in the hallway, even though I don't have the light on. See, there's a lot of the floor's rotten. And then too, we've had them floods and stuff around here in eastern Kentucky. So there's a lot of, I mean, I didn't get flooded real bad or nothing, but this house is old and the waters did get up a little bit high. They didn't get in the house, but they got around the house. And so there is like black mold and stuff in this house. But anyways, and I've tried everything to get rid of it and it always comes back. And there's a lot of damages in this house that needs to be replaced and redone because I got a lot of leaks in the house. And then I've always got septic tank troubles out there in that front yard. It's been like that ever since I've lived here. But that's a whole different story. I've talked about that before, you guys. Anyways, back to this wall right here. Or the Sherwin-Williams paint, my bad, that I got back in 2021. I would hate to see, I don't know how much it costs, and that, think about it. That was for the cheapest gallon of paint back in 2021 of Sherwin-Williams brand from Lowe's. $50-some a gallon. I would hate to see how much a gallon of paint, even the cheapest one from Sherwin-Williams, would cost now. It would be unreal. You'd have to be rich to be able to paint like that and choose that brand, because I thought whenever I went to pick up this paint the other day from Walmart, I thought $20-some a gallon. It was Gillen, or however you say that brand. And they do not offer color plates like the Walmart brand no more. They're switching to that Gillen brand, or whatever you call it. So I don't know. I don't know what's cheap anymore for people to do any kind of painting or remodeling or anything. But the reason why I was staying up so late last night, obviously because it's harder for me to do certain things, and I am out of shape and stuff. But I'm gonna have to scrape this paint. You can kind of see it. I'm having to take a knife, that knife there, and I'm having to peel that paint off the walls, and it's really a tedious job. And I'm having to sweep and clean it up even before we get ready to use this paint, that's a little bit darker color, I think, than the accent wall, but it is in the gray family. I showed y'all what it looked like in a different video. But I'm having to do that, and so that's why it's taking so long. You can kind of see it. We've decided we're going to do it, or my youngest daughter has, and I'm just going to let her choose whatever, because right now we're just trying to fix it up while we're living in it. Eventually, someday, I hope I don't have to spend the rest of my life in this house, because for me, it's HELL, living in this house. I hate living here. I always have. I was never planning on living in this house this long. But you can kind of see, though, where I've been trying to take that knife, and I have to do this to all the walls that we're going to paint. And eventually, we're going to paint all the walls in the house eventually. But we just got to do things little by little, because of my income right now and stuff. And I just hope and pray that changes or whatever. But anyways, and we do plan on eventually, we already talked about it, I'm going to try to get some blinds eventually, maybe next month, I don't know. But we're going to try to get some blinds. We're going to try to get a curtain rod. We're going to try to get new curtains. I got some curtains picked out for way later on in the Amazon cart. Some blackout curtains, thermal or whatever you call it, that helps on your power bill and stuff, your energy or whatever, it saves on your energy. They're just like a light gray color. I got some in the Amazon cart for dreaming about for whenever we can afford it or whatever. But this is what's taking me so long, is I'm trying to help her and she's trying to help me. And I'm just having to peel all the coats of paint over the years off of these walls right here. So I plan on using this other, I had 5 gallons of paint to paint these orange looking walls a different color. That right there was just 1 gallon. It was accent color. It was actually meant for this little bitty wall right here. I'll back up so you guys can see. it was meant for that little wall. But then my youngest daughter, the one that was painting, she decided, she was like, I don't think that would look right, and because it's connected right there and it goes into the hallway. She's like, I think you should use it for the wall in the living room if you're going to do an accent one. She said, I don't even think you need an accent wall color, but where you've already bought the paint, she said, let's just go ahead and do it on this living room wall. So she started helping me paint and stuff. And yeah, I know everything, like I said, needs to be replaced. The vents, the outlets, everything does. The ceilings need to be repainted, trim. It's just that you gotta do what you can do with what you got. And then also, if it was left up to me, obviously if I was rich, I wouldn't even be fixing up this house, period. I would just sell it or just move and leave and be gone with it, done with it or whatever. But and then two, obviously if I had the money and if I was rich, I wouldn't just be painting. I think painting's even though it's expensive for me and my income, I think painting is still like a quick fix. It's a quick cosmetic, pleasing fix, because it doesn't take much to change like a mood or a feeling or aesthetic or whatever you get from painting. In my opinion, what she did last night, she did end up putting 3 coats, but just changing to like a more modern universal color, like the gray tones or whatever. And you could do it in the white tones, neutral tones like tans or whatever, but whatever you choose with, you gotta stick through. So we obviously went towards grays, or I did, so we gotta continue with grays throughout the house. But anyways, what we decided to do, where I'd already bought 5 gallons of this other colored gray here, we're gonna continue painting the rest of the living room walls, the hallway walls, this little tiny wall here that I'm scraping the paint off and stuff of. And then that wall right there, that I think that's an accent wall in the living room. It connects from the living room here to in there in the kitchen. I call it an accent wall. But anyways, and I actually had a different color picked out, but my youngest daughter didn't want to do that, so we're just going to use the same color here. So I'll have to buy more paint, definitely, of that gray color there. And she also wants me to use that gray color there inside the kitchen and stuff. So I've got to scrape all the paint coats over the years, because I've painted this house on the inside over the years since my daughter is 21 years old, my oldest. And I've painted the walls in every room in this house several times. So you can tell and stuff, there's like layers and layers of paint. And so I'm trying to do it the best way I know how to do it to make it look a little bit decent. And you can tell where it's caving in. It's an old house and stuff, like I said. But obviously, anyways, if I had the money and if I was rich, well, first off, I would move. Second off, yeah, I'd be like everybody else. Like everybody else is starting to be whenever it comes to remodeling and stuff and has the money to do so. I'd be just like everybody else. I would love to have that shiplap walls and just paint it. Same thing with the ceilings. I'd love to have shiplap and wood beams on the ceilings and just paint it whatever color I wanted to do. Because that's the way everybody's going now. Whenever I first got this house, sheetrock was a big thing back then. It was a luxury thing back then, sheetrock was. But you can always paint and do little things. And then also back then, whenever I first got this house, even though you can't tell it and stuff now, but back then this house used to have Berber carpet in it. It came with Berber carpet. whenever we had it moved. And back then, Berber carpet was a big thing back then, you know, and it was actual Berber carpet and stuff. But over the years, it's just been, I don't have the income in my adult life of keeping up something. And I am like one of the first, I was born 1981. So I'm one of the first sets of millennials or whatever. And so, yeah, I just don't have that kind of boomer money to fix up things. I don't have the kind of boomer lifestyle and stuff. And I don't have the kind of privileges or whatever. And it is privileges, no matter what you say or whatever, of what a boomer marriage was or whatever, you know. Even if you believe in the Bible or you don't believe in the Bible or live by the Bible or however you want to say it or whatever, I never had those boomer privileges like a lot of people do. So you just got to do with what you got or work with what you got in life. I learned that early on in my adult years and stuff. So that's what I'm doing. But that's what I might not be posting as much about because I'm busy. I'm busy trying to scrape up these walls and paint, trying to get it done before my youngest daughter goes back to school. So anyways, that's what we're doing. And I will come take you in here and show you again. I showed you the other day on other videos. But I'll show you what we're trying to do. So this is actually the accent wall that we're painting right now. That's already been painted 3 coats of. Normally we would just do 2 coats of a lighter color. But where we had that whole gallon and she was the one painting. Normally with me, because I put paint on so thick and I probably don't paint the right way, I would have used that 1 gallon probably already with just 1 or 2 coats or whatever, but she went ahead and used the whole gallon on 3 coats. And normally, I know me with painting and stuff where I've painted over the years, on lighter colors, you don't have to do but 2 coats. On darker colors or like reds, orange, or yellow tones, I know for me, I've had to use like 3 or 4 coats even before a paint. So anyways, the name of this color is Gray Shadows. And I don't remember if I got it from Lowe's or Walmart, the paint strip color or whatever, but it don't matter. They can mix it up for you. So that's what the accent wall is in the living room there, where the window's at. And then this right here color, I know the name of the color is called Whirlwind. And this is what it's going to be here in the hallway, the rest of the living room on both sides, even the other one that I call an accent wall, which is this wall right here in the living room. I call that an accent wall. And I had a different color picked out, but she didn't want it. So I'm just letting her do whatever, you know. So anyways, we're going to finish painting. That's the accent wall color. That's only going to be behind where the window is in the living room. This right here color is going to be in the rest of the living room, the hallway, and in here in the kitchen eventually. And also on the other big wall connected to the living room and kitchen here. And then she's got this right here eventually. You know, this can't happen all at once because I just don't have that kind of income right now, unfortunately. But anyways, this is the color that she's got picked out that she wants to redo her room in. It's called Pacific Pearl. And it's like a white looking color compared to them gray colors. And so that's the colors we decided on. And so what I told her is I'm just eventually, obviously I'm not going to do my room until my bedroom where I sleep at until last, because I put everything else before myself and, you know, everybody and everything. That's just how I've always done. That's what you're supposed to do as a mother. And so anyways, I'm not going to do mine until last, but I've decided just to go ahead and paint all 3 of the bedrooms because this is a 3-bedroom house, 1 bath. I'm going to eventually paint all the bedrooms this same color that she picked out for her bedroom. So those are the colors and stuff. We haven't got colors picked out for the bathroom yet, but it is only a 1-bathroom house. And yes, eventually I would love to sell this house or even just move if I could afford to or whatever. Hopefully a miracle will happen. All I can do is pray about things and we can get out of here, because I do not consider this place, it doesn't feel like a home to me. But it is what it is, or whatever. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of fill you guys in, tell you what's going on and why I might not be posting as much content, and I don't know whatever kind of form. I mean, I'm going to try, obviously, to post something, because I don't want my channel to just stay dormant and just lay there. Eventually, I would like to be monetized in every shape and form, and start making some income and stuff to get out of this poverty and situation and existing and surviving situation that we've been in for years, decades, or whatever, and start living our lives or whatever. But the same go like what most human beings have. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to fill you guys in case if any of y'all were curious about, like, hey, why is she not posting as much, or what's going on? Why is she just posting short form content or whatever, you know? And there's so many holes, and I won't be able to fill them. I'm hoping the paint just covers them in these walls and stuff, because this is where my TV that's in my bedroom, because it's the only one I have, and I've had it for 15 years, you know, because I had it as old as my youngest daughter, because it was one of the first flat screen TVs that ever came out, and I bought it with my own money years ago. But anyways, and it still works. The only thing I do is every like 6 months, I do have to, unfortunately, I have to buy like a new Fire Stick TV controller kit or whatever about every 6 months, because that's what usually tears up on it. And it's been tearing up like 3 times now or something. So every 3 months or 6 months or whatever, I usually have to buy one. But that's about the only thing. I really had issues with that name brand on that TV for 15 years, so it's been a pretty good TV. But anyways, and obviously I don't have the money. I'm not rich right now, so otherwise I would have gone ahead and just bought a brand new TV or whatever. But anyways, this is what used to hold up. That's why there's holes there. That's the TV holder and stuff, where you put it in the wall. And that's why there's so many holes in that wall. Just like over here on this other wall, you can kind of see it maybe because of the light or whatever. There's like an indentation here, and that's where the brace was for so many years, where this TV used to be before I moved it to the other wall. So that's why it's like that. And yes, obviously I need to get some paint eventually for the trim, for the ceilings, and I'm just gonna go with white and stuff, because if I'm ever, I figure, I look at it like this, if I'm ever able to move or sell this place, I'm gonna just keep it in the gray tones. What I'm trying to paint it is right now, little by little, and go with white trim, because that's kind of a universal color scheme in different time periods. It's kind of modern anyways, and it goes in and out of style, but for the most part, those tones like that, usually in the grayish tones, they usually stay in style, even if they go out of style for a little bit. Like this color right here, I don't know what got into me. It was back in the cough years, and I don't know, but everybody back then that I knew of or was surrounded by, they was painting their walls. Everybody got a wild hair, I guess, but they was painting their walls, because I'm not a big, huge fan in the first place of oranges or yellows or brown colors or reds or nothing like that. But back then, everybody was painting their walls like either these orange or peach or yellows or red colors. And in the cough years, I remember all kinds of people was painting their, in different rooms of their houses, those colors or whatever. But anyways, I guess I'll get off here and get busy at it. I just kind of wanted to update you all on what might be keeping me busy. And it is a long, harder than I thought it would be process, but it has to be done now. I can't let this paint go to waste or nothing. And I'm trying my best to get this done too before my youngest daughter starts back at school and stuff. So anyways, that's what's going on. Just wanted to keep y'all informed, and I appreciate y'all for watching. Talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye bye.